Alright, hey guys, it's Crimson here, and I thought I would kind of make a series out of showing you guys exactly how I do my build orders and what build orders I think everyone should know and are really useful to have. So we're going to continue that here with the next build order that I think that everyone should know, which is the Scout build order. I think it's one of my personal favorites because it's really easy to do. I think anybody can really pull off a Scout build order. It's not particularly difficult or tight with the resources, but it's easy and it's also very powerful. It's very aggressive, and it has a lot of good options for following up. So it's very versatile. It's very effective. So one of my favorite build orders to use in a game, I guess. So I've picked Saracens here, not because I particularly like the Saracens, but because they have no bonuses. So if this build order works with the Saracens, it will just as well work with the Magyars or the Huns or Mongols or any other civ that you would like to go scouts with. Okay, so if it works here, it'll work anywhere else. That's kind of the idea behind choosing the Saracens. All right, so we have an AI opponent. That's just so I can kind of show you how I micro and how to control your scouts, so you don't run them into the town center or anything like that. Just give you some advice with basic micro tips. So I have some opponent to attack and stuff like that. All right, so I think that's really all that needs to be said. So let's go ahead and start the game, I guess. We've got a lot to talk about here. So the first thing I want to do is kind of explain the first maybe 5 seconds of the game. I think this is like the most important thing that you have mastered when you play Age of Empires. These 5 seconds, there's so much that you have to do, and the faster you can do it, the better, right? So I think there's a big amount of practice should be put into just nailing this little part. So what we're going to do is jump to the town center and queue a bunch of villagers. Then we're going to grab these 2 villagers, make a house here, grab this villager, make a house there. We're going to grab this scout and set it to control group 1. You can use any control group you like, you know, it doesn't really matter, but I use the first control group just simply because it's easy to reach and, you know, it's convenient, right? So you control your scout, so it's easy to jump between your scout and your town center for, you know, controlling it and moving it around and looking for your resources. So very important. So okay, so we control group the scout, we get the sheep, we move the sheep under the town center. Then we will select all the villagers and shift queue them onto the next sheep and set the rally point for the town center onto the same sheep. Okay, so that way when they're finished building the houses, they'll just automatically go to the sheep. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to worry about it, right? It just makes life easy, okay? So let's just practice this and make sure that you can do it without, you know, you can almost do it with your eyes closed, right? Easy like a machine, okay? So villagers, house, sheep, right? Just like that, and then shift and rally point, okay? And then we can start scouting with our sheep. Easy peasy, right? So it happens fast, but it's important that you practice that, right? So you can get it just down lickety split and make the game look easy, okay? This is how you win, all right? I promise. You get that down, you win every game, all right? Unless you're playing against Boy, he's a cheater. Okay, so as with like 99.9% of all build orders, we're putting 6 on sheep. I feel like you should already know that by now, but if you don't, that's what we're going to be doing. So 6 on sheep to start us off. And there we go. We now have 6 on sheep, so we're going to send the next 3 villagers to wood. So if you know a lot of build orders, you might say 3 is a little bit of a different number, which it is. Most of the time we will put 4 on wood, but with scouts we really don't need a lot of wood, so 3 is plenty for what we're trying to do, okay? Alright, so 3 on wood, and what we're going to do is also maybe a little interesting, is when that 3rd villager goes to the wood line, we will also take a villager from under our town center and send it to the first pig, okay? So, which I actually don't see you at the moment, so that could be a problem. But we have a little more time to find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so perfect. So that first villager, right when that guy comes out, you go and get the pig, okay? Or the rhino, in this case, I guess it is, but I call them pigs, whatever they are. Okay, so he's running away. This is quite a long lure, so it might be a little tricky, but... Okay, so the next 2 villagers will also go to our sheep or our pig or whatever happens to be under the town center at the time. We're just sending that there. okay? So the next 2 villagers will go on food underneath our town center. Just like that, okay? Just super easy, super simple. So we now have 8 villagers under our town center collecting food, which is just perfect. That's exactly what we want. So the next villager will go build 2 houses, alright? So next up is 2 houses. I might have to force drop a little food there. Okay, so 2 houses, just like that. And then the next villager will go build a mill, okay? And the same thing is going to happen for the next boar, although I think we're going to have to make an exception here because we have a rhino, they have a little more food. But if you're working with a normal boar, you will need to go get the next pig right when you go to build a mill. So right now is when you will get that next pig. And when this finishes, we're going to send her down to the berries as well, okay? So nothing too fancy. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe get that pig now, okay? So a little later, because we have the rhino, which has, I think, like 60 more food than a regular pig, so 60 or 40 or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Just going to mess up the timings a little bit, but knowing how to adjust for those things is important, right? So as you can see, we should, the next pig should come in right as this pig finishes up. Okay, it's just, bam, picture perfect almost, right? So then this villager is done, we'll send her down, and the next 2 villagers are going to go to the pig as well. But when 1 villager goes on, we'll take a low HP villager off and make a farm, okay? So just like what I just did there. So we're going to do that twice. We're going to make 2 farmers, okay? Not sure what this sod is doing here. Let's get that sorted. Okay, so we still have 8 villagers on the pig, but we have now two farmers with low HP. So the next 2 villagers will go to the wood line, right? Like just like that. And we're going to keep scouting with our scout, of course. Checking around, trying not to run into the town center like I just did. But, you know, just be careful with our scout there. So when these villagers finish with the pig, we're going to just shift queue them onto the sheep. And make sure the sheep's not right next to the town center so they can fully saturate the sheep, okay? So we now have 5 villagers on wood. So our next goal is to make a new wood lumber camp. So the next 2 villagers will go to a completely new wood line with a new lumber camp, okay? So this villager will build, so sometimes you don't quite have enough wood, but it'll sort itself out really quickly, okay? Just like that. And as you can see, we're going to start killing those sheep and taking out wood. And then we'll put 1 more villager on wood, and then we'll get loom, okay? So 2 villagers on the new wood line, and then loom. Just like that. No need for anything more complicated. And then right about now, you should be able to click up to the Feudal Age. So just like that, we're going up to the Feudal Age, nice and early, right? So once you've clicked up to the Feudal Age, we're going to grab 3 villagers. That I accidentally grabbed like 6, but we want only 3. And we're going to send them down to the wood line, okay? And the rest will just stay on the sheep, okay? Just like that. That's nothing fancy, okay? So we're going to keep scouting our opponent's base. We're going to keep looking for things. We're going to keep those villagers on sheep. But the next thing we're going to want to do is grab a villager from the berries, just 1 villager from the berries, and send them up to build us a barracks. Make sure you do that before 50%. So you've got the villager already going to the barracks at 50% of the way up, okay? That'll make sure that your barracks is up long before you need to get that stable up, right? When you get to the Feudal Age. Okay, so nothing fancy going on here. Just sheep. Okay, so once you hit about maybe like 80-90%, okay, grab another villager, maybe from under the town center, it doesn't really matter, and build a house next to the barracks. We want 2 villagers to build our stable when you get to the Feudal Age, so we'll just go get that second villager already over there, ready to go, okay? So I was maybe a little late with this house. We'll let that finish. Once, right the second we hit the Feudal Age, we'll get the wood upgrade and the farm upgrade, and then we'll make a stable, okay? All that right away as soon as we get up. Make sure you've got those villagers queued, and we'll just send our new villagers to the sheep, alright? Just like that. Nice and easy. So this villager will go ahead and go back to the berries, and our new villagers will go to the sheep, okay? Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, super easy, super straightforward. We got the stable up, so we'll go ahead and make some scouts, and we'll start making some more farms. So every time you have 60 wood, go ahead and make a new farm, alright? Just like that. Just like you would if you were in Castle Age doing a boom or something. So, again, nothing fancy. Nothing exciting going on. No sneaky tricks or gimmicks. Just straightforward, simple build order, okay? Once we've used up all of our sheep and stuff like that, we'll send those extra leftover villagers to food. And we can go attack once we have 3 scouts, alright? So, you want to be nice and fast with that attack. Right when you have 3 scouts, it's instant attack mode, alright? It's important that you just get in and get aggressive, alright? And that's our main goal, is to really put on some damage, right? So, keep making maybe a 4th scout is definitely a good idea. And about right here is what I would consider to be a critical moment, okay? You're just kind of starting to get that first attack in. Maybe you have about 4 scouts and about 14 or 15 villagers on food, okay? This is the critical moment. And what I mean by that is, it is now time for you to decide what you want to do next, right? So maybe you want to make an archery range and make archers, or you want to make an archery range and make skirmishers, or if you just want to go Castle Age and make knights, you have to adapt to those things differently, right? So this is your moment to choose what you want to do next, right? So there are different reasons you might choose to go different things. You know, maybe if you're Huns who get good cav archers and you want to go, you know, archers into cav archer, something like that, you would choose to go archers. Or if you're Berbers and you have really good knights in the Castle Age, you might choose to just go to the Castle Age and make knights, right? So there are different reasons other than just your civ, different factors you need to consider, but let's just kind of, you know, not think about that right now. So what I'm going to kind of show you here is the most generic of the options, and I think that's just going to the Castle Age and making knights. I think that makes it, you know, good if you're in the pocket. As a team game player, you always pretty much want to make knights, so I think this is maybe one of the most useful and kind of generic build orders that you would use a lot. So that's what I'm going to show you here, but just know that this is kind of the moment where you need to think about, what should I do next, right? What is my next option? You know, if you want to make archers, you need more villagers on wood, you need more villagers on gold, so just know that you need to think about that, right? Just know, okay, now's the time to make a choice, right? Okay, so with that said, let's continue here, and we'll keep watching our scouts, right? And maybe we'll make like 1 or 2 more farmers, and then we will go to gold, okay? So we're going to watch, make sure our scouts don't die. And maybe add 1 more farmer, and we'll go ahead and start taking gold, okay? So, nothing fancy happened, right? Just a little bit of control on our economy, right? So we'll put those villagers onto our gold. And we're going to actually send 4 villagers onto gold. Maybe we'll put, this is a little awkward mining camp here. I'm not really sure where to put it. So we'll just go right there. So 4 villagers on gold. We have 4 scouts now. We're going to stop making scouts when we have 4 scouts. I think that's kind of the magic number here. And we're going to go 4 on gold, okay? Once we've got 4 on gold, we are going to get wheelbarrow and work on clicking up, okay? So until then, we're really not going to do anything. But just making the gold, okay? So the next trick I'd like kind of to just mention is how you should be microing your scouts. So what I like to do is kind of run my scouts in a circle around their base. So you see I come over here, and then I'll come down here, and then maybe I'll go back here, and then I'll come up here and kind of run in a circle, right? So we've got 4 villagers on gold now. I'll go put my villagers to wood. Wheelbarrow next. And so you can see, maybe I'll check for a low HP villager, but there's kind of a spearman there, so I don't really want to fight yet. And once we've got that wheelbarrow, okay, so look, now see, I'm running in a circle, I find a villager. So the next thing we're going to want to do is grab a free villager, maybe from the wood line probably, and build one of those blacksmiths, right? So that way we can start getting the buildings required to go up. And look here, running in a circle, I find yet another villager for me to take out, right? See, just running in the circle, running in a circle is just the perfect way to execute this kind of micro technique, okay? Nothing fancy, right? You just run around in a circle around their bases. It's very easy to do. Look for those low HP villagers, okay? So make sure you're making houses all the time, right? Obviously you need houses, blah, blah, blah. don't think I can really go for that. And as you can see, look, bam, we're up. Okay? Nothing fancy that whole time. I'm just doing exactly what you would do if you were, you know, playing a real game. Nothing fancy. So, at this moment, we are going up to Castle Age, and our berry villagers have finished. So with that, those berry villagers, we're going to take 5 of them. There's 5, so, or at least there should be. There's 5 of them. We're going to send those to golds, and we're going to build a stable as well. So, in the meantime, we're also going to get the gold mines upgrade from the stable. We don't have to get it right away, but definitely want it to be done before we get to the Castle Age, okay? It's not super important, but it makes a huge difference for how strong your knights are, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll send 1 villager here to build a house and 1 villager here to build a farm, okay? And like you can see me, I'm just running in circles around the base, nothing fancy, right? So, and I'm picking off villagers. Okay, so we'll get that bloodlines upgrade, and we'll get the defense upgrade for the cavalry as well, okay? And then we're also going to get the gold mining upgrade as well. So, a lot of upgrades, but very important that we get all of them. And they're all really important upgrades, so. And as you can see, just running in circles and finding the villagers that are easiest for me to kill. Very, very easy to do. Nothing fancy, no tricks, no splits, no fancy techniques. It's all just running in a circle, doing nothing but that. Okay, so we're going to grab our stables, and we're going to set them to a control group. I think that was 4. I meant to hit 5, but we're going to grab our stables and set them to a control group, and instantly we're going to start making knights, alright? So just start making knights. And look, another villager. See? Nothing fancy. I'm not doing anything fancy. Just running in a circle and just killing what I see, okay? Just very important. You don't have to be, you know, a master of Age of Empires to be able to do this, right? So here's another free villager for me to just kill immediately, right? So very, very easy micro. Just running in a circle, man. So we're going to just keep making knights, and as you can see, we've got our rally point set to the gold, and we're going to put about 14, maybe 13 villagers on gold, okay? So it's quite a few villagers, but it's how many you will definitely need if you're trying to make knights, okay? So maybe since our mining camp is kind of awkward, we'll make a second one. It's probably worth it. It's probably worth the investment. And also, I recommend taking maybe 1 or 2 villagers off wood and making a farm. And look what we found. So that's kind of a big find, because I can maybe kill this villager, okay? So look, I'm just running in circles. Nothing fancy, right? Nothing fancy, just running in circles, making sure my economy is good. And he's got a lot of units, okay? But I make knights, and knights will kill all of that, so. You know, you don't have to worry too much about knights against those spears, though. Knights will just destroy spearmen. Unless they're pikemen, it's really nothing to be afraid of. And look, here's another free villager, right? Just running in circles back and forth over and over again. You're not doing anything hard or fancy or technical. It's just easy, easy micro, okay? So as you can see, we now have 14 villagers on gold. So that's where we're going to stop with making villagers on gold. And we're still going to keep making knights, but we don't need any more golds, okay? We should be the perfect amount of gold. So now we have a lot of wood, as you can see. So we're going to use that wood to make a bunch of farms. Okay, so we're still just running in circles with our scouts. Now you know, we could have attacked with our knights a while ago, but we really don't need to. But we could attack with our knights now. So we'll run in with our knights. Maybe run in when you have more like 4 or 5 knights. Oh shit, I need a house. Run in when you have maybe a few less knights than this. You can run in, but just know you don't need to do anything fancy, right? I didn't do anything fancy the whole time. I'm just chilling out, running in circles. And you can do the same thing with the knights. I would encourage you to do exactly the same thing with the knights. Just circles and just easy micro. So we'll go check this woodland. I'm sure there's 1,000 villagers up there because AIs don't know how to play. But yep, here we've got a bunch of free villager kills here. So that's going to pretty much end the game for us. But and, you know, once you get to Castle Age, I feel like this is a great advice, but once you get up to Castle Age, you should have 1 villager whose job it is just exclusively to build houses. So every time you hit that idle villager button, you find that villager, you know, okay, I need to build another house, right? Just automatically, you don't have to think, you just do it, right? And you're still making knights, still doing all that fancy stuff. And making more farms, more knights, more farms, more knights. Okay, that's all we gotta do. And as you can see, we've kind of queued a few extra knights here. So once you have a lot of knights, and you're making knights, and you're not running out of food or anything like that, or gold or anything, you can get the second defense upgrade. Very, very important to get that upgrade, okay? Is very, very important. Just as important as Bloodlines, just as important as the first defense upgrade, so really gonna emphasize that you get that upgrade as well if you're making lots of knights like I am here. And yeah, we can take that fight, okay? We want to fight him before he gets the pikeman upgrade, right? A lot of units that I really don't want to fight, right? So let's go ahead and fight him, and I think this would be kind of a good place to leave you. I just want to, worth a mention here, that about right now is when you're going to want to add that second town center, and also get the, make use of the wood upgrade here as well. So more town centers, get the wood upgrade. When you're in kind of this position, you've got lots of food, you've got lots of resources. Just keep making those knights, and you can see now I'm in pretty much impossible for me to lose from here, right? I've got way more knights. He's barely even gotten to Castle Age. I'm super far ahead. You can see I'm just killing villager after villager. Knights. I'm making more knights constantly, so it's pretty much game over here for him. So I think I'll leave you guys off about here. I think, and yeah, this is how it's done. I wish you good luck in your future builds and your future games. So I think that's all for me. All right.